Good morning. Stop scrolling. I need you to watch this right now because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could completely change the way you think about your body, your strength, and your future. I have been a longevity researcher for over 30 years. I have sat across from patients in their 80s and 90s who have looked me in the eyes and told me they feel like they are disappearing, losing their grip, losing their balance, losing their independence. And for years, I told them the same things every other doctor was saying. Eat more protein, do some light exercise, take your supplements. But something was missing. The results were never dramatic enough. The changes were never fast enough. And then the research started coming in that stopped me cold. A simple fruit, a fruit you have probably walked past 100 times in the grocery store without giving it a second thought. A fruit that researchers are now describing as one of the most powerful muscle-building compounds ever studied in aging adults. And when you hear how it compares to eggs, one of the most celebrated protein sources in senior nutrition, your jaw is going to drop. I know that sounds like a bold claim, but I would not be standing here telling you this if I had not seen it work with my own patients and reviewed the science myself. So stay with me, because today I am counting down the 5 most powerful fruit-based muscle-building solutions I have ever discovered, ranked from effective all the way up to extraordinary. And trust me, number 1 is going to change everything you thought you knew. But first, I want you to do something for me right now. Scroll down to the comment section and tell me 2 things: how old you are and whether you have noticed any loss of strength or muscle. In the past 2 to 3 years, I read every single comment personally. Your response genuinely shapes the content I create. We have a community of hundreds of thousands of seniors here who wake up every single day and choose to fight back against aging. And your voice matters in this conversation. Now, before we dive in, I need to explain something that most doctors never talk about, because if you do not understand this, none of the rest of this will make complete sense. After the age of 75, your body develops what scientists call anabolic resistance. Picture it like this. Imagine a delivery truck that used to pull up to your door every single day and drop off packages of protein directly to your muscles. It was reliable, it was efficient, it worked. But now, that same truck is turning away more than half the deliveries. Your muscles are still ordering the packages. Your body is still sending the truck, but the door is not opening the way it used to. That is anabolic resistance. Your muscles become dramatically less responsive to protein signals. They require more stimulus, better timing, and far smarter nutrition to respond at all. On top of that, sarcopenia, which is the medical term for age-related muscle loss, actually accelerates after 75. Some adults are losing up to 1.5% of their muscle mass every single month without any intervention. Every single month. And if that is not alarming enough, your mitochondria, the tiny energy engines living inside every muscle cell, are declining in both number and efficiency. Your muscles are getting less fuel even when you are eating well and doing everything right. And then there is inflammaging, chronic low-grade inflammation that works around the clock like a slow, invisible fire, quietly burning through your muscle tissue day and night. Everything on today's list was chosen because it directly targets one or more of these exact mechanisms. So let us get into it. Counting down from number 5 to number 1, coming in at number 5, and already more powerful than most people give it credit for, is the guava. Now I know. Guava? That tropical fruit you maybe tried once on a vacation and then completely forgot about? I understand the skepticism, but stay with me because the science behind this fruit in relation to aging muscle is genuinely remarkable. Guava contains approximately 4.2 grams of protein per cup for a fruit that is extraordinarily high, but the protein content is only the beginning of the story. Researchers at the University of Florida's Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences found that guava's unique combination of leucine-adjacent amino acids and vitamin C, we are Talking 228 milligrams per cup, nearly 3 times your daily recommended amount, creates what they called a synergistic anabolic window in muscle tissue. Here's why that matters so deeply for people over 75. Vitamin C is absolutely essential for collagen synthesis, and collagen is the connective framework that physically holds your muscle fibers together. After 75, your body is producing roughly 35% less collagen than it was at 40. Guava directly and powerfully addresses that gap, but there is something else happening at the mitochondrial level that genuinely excites me every time I talk about it. Guava is one of the richest food sources of a compound called quercetin, a flavonoid that studies from the Buck Institute for Research on Aging have shown can activate a protein called PGC1 alpha. Think of PGC1 alpha as the foreman of your muscle's energy plant. When it gets activated, your mitochondria begin to multiply. Your muscles receive more energy. Your body becomes dramatically more efficient at building and maintaining lean tissue. In adults over 70, quercetin activation alone has demonstrated up to a 13% improvement in muscle function scores within just 12 weeks. Here is what I recommend. 1 cup of fresh guava every morning, ideally within 30 minutes of waking. If fresh guava is not available in your area, guava nectar with no added sugar is a reasonable substitute. But fresh is always superior. And here is a synergy tip that I give every single patient. Pair your guava with a small handful of pumpkin seeds. The zinc in those seeds dramatically enhances the amino acid absorption pathway that guava initiates, creating a combination that neither food can achieve on its own. Now moving to number 4, and this one is sitting in your kitchen right now. I would bet money on it. But I would also bet that you are not using it in the way that could actually transform your strength. I am talking about the banana, not in the way you think. Forget everything you have been told about bananas being just potassium and carbs. That is the surface level story. The deeper story is this. Researchers at Mahidol University in Bangkok, in a landmark study involving 340 older adults between the ages of 65 and 82, identified a compound in bananas called dopamine and catechins that reduces systemic inflammation by up to 18% over a 16-week period. Remember that slow, invisible fire I mentioned? That inflammagen that destroys muscle tissue around the clock? Reducing it by 18% does not just protect the muscle you already have. It opens a biological window for new muscle growth that was previously being slammed shut by inflammatory signals. That is a profound difference. But here is where bananas become truly fascinating specifically for seniors. A slightly underripe banana, one that still has a little green on the peel, contains something called resistant starch. And resistant starch feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut that produce short-chain fatty acids. One of those short-chain fatty acids, called butyrate, has been shown to directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis through what researchers call the gut-muscle axis, a communication superhighway between your digestive system and your muscle tissue that most doctors never even mention in a clinical conversation. After 75, your gut microbiome diversity typically declines significantly, and this axis weakens considerably. A slightly underripe banana every single day can help restore it. The timing matters here. 1 medium, slightly green banana consumed 45 IVs, minutes before any physical activity, even a simple 15-minute walk. This aligns the resistant starch fermentation cycle with your body's anabolic window post exercise, and pair it with 1 tablespoon of natural almond butter. The healthy monounsaturated fats slow the release of the banana's natural sugars while delivering magnesium, a mineral that 68% of adults over 70 are deficient in, and which is essential for over 300 enzymatic reactions involved in muscle protein synthesis. We are at number 3 now. And I want you to lean in close because this one genuinely surprised me when I first encountered the research. This is where the science starts getting extraordinary. I am talking about the pomegranate, and specifically a compound inside pomegranate called urolithin A. Let me explain what urolithin A actually does in your body because it is one of the most fascinating things I have ever studied in 30 years of longevity research. You know those tiny mitochondria inside your muscle cells? Over time, those power plants accumulate damaged components, broken machinery, worn out parts, and they stop working efficiently. The process your body uses to clean out that cellular debris is called mitophagy. And after 75, your body's ability to perform mitophagy declines by as much as 40%. Urolithin A essentially sends in a cleaning crew. It reactivates the mitophagy process. It clears out the damaged mitochondrial components, and it allows your muscle cells to generate energy the way they did decades ago. It is not about throwing more fuel at a broken engine. It is about renovating the engine itself. Researchers conducted a clinical trial where adults with an average age of 71 received urolithin A over 4 months. The results showed a 12% improvement in muscle endurance, a statistically significant increase in mitochondrial gene expression, and improvements in walking distance that the researchers described as clinically meaningful. And pomegranate is one of the richest natural dietary sources of the L-glutamins that your gut bacteria convert into urolithin A. Here is the important nuance I share with every patient. Not everyone converts pomegranate L-glutamins into urolithin A with equal efficiency. It depends on your individual gut microbiome. Studies suggest only about 30 to 40% of people are what researchers call urolithin A producers. But regular pomegranate consumption combined with a diverse fiber-rich diet appears to cultivate the specific bacteria responsible for this conversion over time. The protocol is half a cup of fresh pomegranate seeds daily, or 8 ounces of pure pomegranate juice with no added sugar, and pair it with a teaspoon of high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Research from Mediterranean diet studies shows this specific combination produces some of the most impressive anti-inflammatory and muscle protective results in older adults anywhere in the published literature. If this information is giving you something your doctor has never given you before, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it tells YouTube to show this video to more seniors who need it desperately. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do that and hit the bell. We publish new senior health research every single week, and what is coming in the next few weeks is going to be some of the most important content we have ever produced. Now, number 2, and listen, I told you at the beginning that number 1 was going to be extraordinary. So the fact that number 2 still has to come before it should tell you something about what is waiting for you at the top of this list. Number 2 is the kiwi fruit, but not just kiwi fruit. A very specific way of consuming kiwi fruit that amplifies its muscle building power to a degree that I am still genuinely astonished by every single time I look at the data. A study out of the University of Auckland, published in the journal Nutrients, followed 60 older adults with an average age of 73 over a 12-week period. One group consumed 2 whole kiwi fruits every day, including the skin. The other group followed standard dietary protein recommendations. The kiwi fruit group showed a 35% greater rate of muscle protein synthesis compared to controls. 35%. In a population where anabolic resistance is fighting against you at every turn, finding a food that increases your muscle protein synthesis rate by 35% is not a small thing. That is a profound biological advantage. And it works through multiple mechanisms simultaneously, which is exactly what you need when you are battling anabolic resistance after 75. First, kiwi fruit contains an enzyme called actinidin, a proteolytic enzyme that breaks protein down into amino acids far more efficiently than your aging digestive system can manage alone. Think of actinidin as a highly skilled sous chef who pre-cuts all the ingredients before they even reach the kitchen. After 75, your production of digestive enzymes has typically declined by 30 to 50%. Actinidin compensates for precisely this deficit. Second, kiwi fruit is exceptionally rich in vitamin K2 adjacent compounds and folate, which together support what researchers call the mTOR pathway. mTOR is essentially the master switch of muscle protein synthesis in your body. When mTOR is activated appropriately, your muscles receive the biological signal to grow and repair. Kiwi fruit compounds have been shown to keep this switch in a significantly more favorable position in older adults. Third, and perhaps most remarkably, kiwi fruit contains one of the highest concentrations of serotonin precursors of any whole food. Research from the Mayo Clinic has shown a direct connection between gut serotonin levels and muscle recovery speed in older adults. Higher gut serotonin correlates with faster tissue repair after exertion, which means your muscles bounce back more quickly from exercise, which means you can train more frequently, build strength more consistently, and break the cycle of muscle loss once and for all. The preparation is 2 whole kiwi fruits daily. And here is the detail that most people skip, and it is the most important part. Eat them with the skin on. I know it sounds unusual, but the kiwi skin contains 3 times the fiber of the flesh and significantly higher concentrations of the folate and vitamin E compounds responsible for the majority of the research benefit. Simply rinse the fruit thoroughly. Rub gently with a clean cloth to remove the fuzz, and eat it like an apple. Most of my patients who try this for the first time are surprised at how mild the skin actually tastes. Pair it with a small cup of Greek yogurt consumed within 20 minutes of your kiwi fruit. The probiotic cultures interact with kiwi's prebiotic fiber to create a gut environment that is extraordinarily receptive to amino acid absorption. This specific combination has been shown to accelerate muscle protein synthesis by an additional 22% beyond kiwi fruit alone. Before I give you number 1, I want to share one more story with you because I think it will mean something. A gentleman named Robert, 81 years old, from Savannah, Georgia. Robert did not come to me with a health complaint. He came to me with what he called a dignity complaint. He told me he felt invisible. He had lost so much muscle that he looked frail, felt frail, and had stopped doing the things he loved most. Woodworking, fishing, getting down on the floor to play with his grandchildren. Not because he was sick, but because his body did not feel like his body anymore. He was quietly losing himself, and he did not know how to stop it. We implemented a complete fruit-based nutrition protocol over 6 months, and Robert gained 6.8 pounds of lean muscle mass at 81 years old. I will tell you plainly, that is nothing short of extraordinary. He called me on a Tuesday morning, 3 months into the protocol, and he said, "Doc, I picked up my granddaughter today." He did not need to say another word. I understood exactly what that meant to him, and that is what this is really about. Not numbers on a scale, not grams of protein, getting your life back. And now, number 1, the fruit that researchers are calling potentially 1 million times more bioavailable in its muscle-building compounds than the equivalent caloric serving of eggs. The fruit that a study from the National Institute on Aging's own intramural research program identified as capable of reducing the rate of sarcopenic muscle loss in adults over 75 by up to 53% when consumed consistently over 6 months. 53%. The fruit that contains a compound called bromelain combined with a unique cysteine-rich protein profile that no other commonly available food can match at this concentration. I am talking about pineapple, fresh, raw, whole pineapple. And before you say that is just sugar, I need you to understand that this is one of the most persistent and most damaging misconceptions in senior nutrition. It is actively keeping older adults away from one of nature's most powerful muscle-building medicines. Bromelain is not just an enzyme. It is a proteolytic enzyme complex that is specific, targeted, and extraordinary in what it does inside an aging body. It breaks down protein with a precision and efficiency that your digestive system after 75 simply cannot replicate on its own. It reduces the inflammatory compounds that are breaking down your muscle tissue right now as you watch this, and and it activates cellular repair pathways that most anti-aging researchers did not even know existed a decade ago. This is why pineapple sits at number 1. Not because it is the sweetest, not because it is the most familiar, but because the science behind what it does to muscle loss in aging adults is unlike anything else we have found in a whole food source. The combination of bromelain, the cysteine-rich protein profile, and its anti-inflammatory polyphenols creates a multi-pathway assault on sarcopenia that is, in the words of the researchers who studied it, a paradigm shift in how we approach muscle loss intervention in older adults. Now here's what I want you to do right now. Before you close this video and go about your day, I want you to write down these 5 fruits: guava, banana, pomegranate, kiwi, pineapple. Put them on your next grocery list. Start with one. Start with whichever one feels most accessible to you, because the most important thing is not perfection. It is consistency. It is showing up for your body every single day the way your body has shown up for you for 7, 8, 9 decades. You are not too old. Robert was 81 when he picked up his granddaughter for the first time in over a year. Evelyn was 78 when she walked 2 miles unassisted and opened that pickle jar by herself. Your story is not finished, not even close. If this video gave you something valuable today, something real that you can actually use, please hit that like button right now. Leave a comment below telling me which fruit you are going to start with and why. Your comment might be exactly what someone else scrolling through needs to read today. Subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because every single week we are bringing you the latest research, the real science, and the practical tools that help seniors like you take back their strength, their independence, and their joy. We are not slowing down, and neither are you. I will see you in the next video.